Howdy, guys. Attorney Walter Hnot. So we are going to go ahead and basically do what we always do every Thursday night, which is have people call in, ask me the toughest Social Security disability questions that they can come up with. Usually it's because they could not get their attorney to call them back with an answer or just to call them back in general. I get it. I understand it. Yada, yada. Okay, cool. But with that said, I'm sure, are going to have some ridiculously difficult questions basically in this show. Now, the way it works, just so you know, the new people who don't really know how it works, it's very simple. You go ahead and dial a phone number. And what we're going to do is I'm going to put the phone number into the little chat section there. You dial the phone number. Now, remember, once you dial the phone number, when I pick up, if I pick up, might be on the phone with somebody else, but if I pick up, what you've got to realize is that you can't use your real name. And then I'll ask you, hey, do you want me to run a question with you or answer a question for you? Or do you want me to run hearing questions with you? All right, we have the first caller calling in right now. Let's go ahead and get this ball rolling. One sec. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot. We are live on YouTube. Would you like me to go ahead and answer a specific question, or would you like me to go ahead and run hearing questions with you? Go ahead.
Yes. Hi, Walter. I had a question. I received money back in 2021. My mom passed, and she had me as beneficiary for Teamsters pension, for back pension funds that she was owed, that she was working through at the time. I received those funds, but my mom had passed, and I received them right after she passed. I wasn't in a good place at all. I cashed the check, and I gave the funds to my daughter to manage. I was not in any shape to manage them. And I received a letter, and they would like to know where the money was spent. I don't know. I mean, I kind of know, but
sure.
now I'm really scared.
All right. So real quick, are you on SSI or SSDI benefits?
SSI.
All right. So with SSI, the thing that's going to happen is this: they're looking at both the SGA, and they're also looking at essentially the the resource limit. So first and foremost, the first thing is, how many months were you over the $2,000 limit of having money like in the bank?
I didn't have any money actually in the bank. It was a check. I cashed it, and I gave my daughter the cash.
Okay. Do you have any proof that the funds went into her account?
I don't know that she put them in her account. I think she was just using the cash.
So that's a worst case scenario right there. And the reason why is that what happens is this: there's no basically paper trail. It's not papered over. So we don't know what happened to the funds. There's no way to directly prove what happened to the funds. And you had 50K and now you don't, which means, for all intents and purposes, you could have potentially went ahead and, they could still be under your mattress. They still, they could be whatever. So have you spoken with your daughter about, where the funds are, what it was spent on? I mean, did you ever create any paperwork that you were gifting the funds to her, anything like that?
I never thought about it at the time. It was $12,000.
Okay, it was $12,000.
And it was $12,000. I never thought about it at the time. I had just lost my mom, and 2 months prior, we had been given notice to my mom's passing. My mom and I lived together, and we received notice that we had to vacate premises. We had to move. The owner had sold the property.
Gotcha.
And so my mom passed, and on top of that, I had the owner going at me, when are you going to move? You need to get out. And I was looking at being homeless, and I was not in a good place with my depression and anxiety and PTSD. So I was freaking out, and then I got that, and I gave it to my daughter, and I said, you need to deal with this. I can't do this. I can't. So I gave it to her, and she did use it like to offset what my mom would have contributed. She used it for, I know there was a U-Haul that she had gotten. It was a lot of, she purchased the car that died within 2 weeks. That was just over $5,000, that I know, and that car has since been totaled because it just died. There was nothing that could be done.
Okay.
Let's see. I'm trying to think where else. A lot of it was application fees she laid out when, I was looking for a place to live. Gas. There was, my mom had a car that has since been transferred over to me, but it wasn't running at the time, so there were parts that she had purchased. I have those receipts for the parts because she gave them to me because I keep all things car related. So she gave those to me. Then there was miscellaneous stuff like gas in the car for looking for a place to live and fast food because, being out looking for a place to live. But I mean, other than that, the apartment, it was the deposits, stuff like that, first month's rent, all that. But I mean, other than that, I there's not a lot of paper trail.
Yeah, that's the problem with this thing. So you're going to have to graph it out on a timeline and expect it not to reach the amount. Because remember, SSI, and remember, if this is a hot potato thing, the 2,000 resource limit, now usually that what you receive there is not traditionally considered as accountable income under the SSA. So the SGA is not as much of an issue, but the 2,000 resource, that's a problem. And did you inherit any vehicles as well on top of that when this all happened?
The vehicle that I got is pretty much considered totaled.
Okay.
It still runs. It's okay for like short runs, like to the grocery store, but it's basically considered a totaled vehicle. It's really not safe to drive. I just don't have any other choice.
Okay, gotcha. So the point I'm getting at here is that the best thing you can do is Excel this thing out, write down where the funds likely went, what happened, who received what, and then kind of go from there, because you need to prove that you no longer have, money stashed away somewhere that this stuff was spent. And, they're going to hit you for some money. How long ago did this happen?
This was in 2021.
Okay. So
February 2021.
Okay. So, keep in mind what we're looking at with this situation is they may hit you for some months. The classic thing they do is they basically, take the SGA amount, right? Sorry, they look at the resource amount and they try to look at, okay, well, how much would have been spent for this, would have been spent for that? At what point does she get under the 2,000 limit? And they're going to try and do an analysis to see what's realistic for the spending of those funds. But you'll have to sign a 795 form, statement of claimant, as to what happened to it. But my recommendation to you, because we can't really do that much tonight on this show when it comes to your particular situation, is write out a timeline, get those receipts together, write out a timeline as to what the money was spent on. That way, how much of that 12 grand went to different places. That way you can at least have some defense against them, because they're going to try and hit you with an overpayment.
Okay. I was asked if I owed my daughter money and was paying back money.
Yeah, a loan agreement. Yeah.
But nothing in writing, so I don't know that helps at all.
They're going to be looking for specifically something that says, essentially, and that's why I always give people those loan agreements. Whenever they ask for one or email me, I always just send it out to them. But bottom line is, if you don't have a written agreement or some way to prove that there was some express agreement that you two stuck with, proving that you owed her money is going to be a tough argument to use. So, next time, just as a heads up, you want to go ahead and trade the value of that money for something of in-kind value that is not, a countable asset. So, for example, a car, or increase the worth of your dwelling, things like that. Because if you don't go ahead and do that stuff, you're going to get hit with this situation, and the SSA is going to give you an overpayment, and then you're going to be stuck trying to like negotiate it down so that you don't have to lose as much. And you're on SSI, which means the tough part of this thing is that your monthly payment is already very, very low, so.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how I'm supposed to survive. I can't believe I did this.
Well, a lot of people do it though, because it's not like you guys all memorize the rules. I know they send out those little pamphlets, but realistically, I mean, if we're really genuinely direct and honest with each other, a lot of people do this. They read the pamphlets and they still get it wrong. So, that's why they have the 632 form to request basically a reduction of the overall overpayment. But at the end of the day, the thing you're going to run into is, they're going to say, hey, it's you're supposed to do the right thing. You didn't do the right thing. Why didn't you do the right thing? How much in resources do you still have from that? Is it under essentially, $2,000? And the tough thing is you don't have a way to prove where the money went, which is what makes this such a difficult situation.
Right.
Mhm.
Okay, I'll work on a timeline. I'll try to pull together whatever receipts that I can. I'm not sure how that's going to work, but I will do my best.
Perfect. Well, sounds good, madam. I will catch you a little bit later. You have a wonderful, wonderful day.
Thank you so much, Walter.
Thank you, madam. All right, I'll catch you later. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
So I've got a little shadow right next to me. He's growling, he's hissing, and he's spitting because he wants cuddles and attention. Let me go to the next call real quick. Hold on one sec. All right, we're going to bring this thing up. We did miss quite a few calls there. Quite a few. Oh, wow. Wow. There's, wow. Huh. A lot of calls. All right, let's go ahead and call this one back. Here we go. Let's see if we can get this person on the phone. Okay, there we go.
Hello?
Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot. We are live on YouTube. Remember to use a fake name throughout this process. Would you like me to answer a specific question, or would you like me to run hearing questions with you?
Yes, Kate here. Questions from me? Excuse me.
Sure.
Yes, my name is Mary. How are you, Walter?
Very good.
Okay, so let me give you, excuse me, a quick background. I'm 63.
Mm-hmm.
I've been receiving Social Security Disability and SSI since 1988.
Okay.
So my last review was 2016.
Okay.
And my son lives with me. He's age 29. And he doesn't get, the only thing he gets is just Medicaid. So they know that he lives here because Food Stamp knows and SSI knows, because he prepares my meals for me and, helps me. So I get a little extra from the state SSI.
Sure.
And I have the disability rent increase exemption.
Mm-hmm.
I get extra help from the state to pay the Medicare premiums. I don't have to pay that, or the Medicare prescription premiums, and the heat energy assistance program,
Mm-hmm.
and a discount from Con Ed. And my mom passed away, so I'm going to be receiving an inheritance of over $100,000.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't have anyone to be in charge of a trust. I heard briefly about the pool trust. I'm not sure how that works.
Mm-hmm.
And my sister is the one that's the executor of the will of the trust
Okay.
that my parents had. And she was saying that she could just give, the money to my son, even though he's not anywhere on there, just me, my two sisters, and my brother. And I told her that that wouldn't work because he lives with me, and if I get any other extra money or deposit it, then I would go over the $2,000.
Mm-hmm.
So I just was wondering if you had some advice on the best thing that I could do. And also, I know in the future I'm probably going to have some surgeries. Like one is just, to remove cataract. So there might be some other surgeries. So if I lose SSI, I figure the inheritance would probably only last maybe about, 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
So I was wondering what would be the best way to handle this.
Well, okay, so here's the thing. The you've got SSI and SSDI benefits, so you have a concurrent allowance, which makes it tricky because you have the, negative of having SSI with an SGA limitation and a resource limit. And so as a result of that, um, you're already figuring, okay, if I'm going to lose SSI benefits, how long will this money really last me? The best advice I can give you is to look to the assets that are non-countable. So talk to me about car, talk to me about the house. Is there any way to you, and you said it was like $100,000, correct?
Right. It's going to be over that. It could be maybe 130,000.
Okay.
But we just live in an apartment. I mean, we've lived here now for 34 years.
Yeah.
So yeah, and my son has lived with me the whole time. And also, I don't know if you would know if the disability rent increased exemption, if they count an inheritance as income, because I'm going to have to pay, double the amount of what my rent is because it's been frozen for 25 years. So I just worried that the money, would run out,
I'm not sure how that would affect the rent exclusion. So send me an email on that. I can always look it up and do a video on that. What kind of a car do you have?
I don't have a car.
Yeah, that's where I'd put the money.
Yeah, I don't have any assets, as far as, just the apartment and, what we have inside the apartment. And I don't go out, unless I have to just, go to the doctor. And plus, I don't know why they haven't reviewed me before now. I mean, is that unusual that, it's been since 2016? And I was also worried that, I don't know how to report it to everybody, like all the different agencies I'm getting help from, and then how much time, I have to notify, all the people. And then I was worried too that if I called asking me questions, even though I don't have the money yet, if they're gonna instantly do a review or, a trigger review or something. And, so I mean, and then plus too, I don't know when they might switch me over, to retirement since I'm 63. I'll be 64 this year.
Well, keep in mind they're gonna do a financial review because that's a chunk of money coming your way. It doesn't mean they're going to be doing a medical review. And usually, when you're 63 and older, they cut out the CDRs for basically the medical review. So medical is probably off the table. You've been disabled for an extremely long time. So from the 80s, correct?
Yeah, 1988. So for 35 years, I've had the disability.
Okay. So now $130,000 or $100,000, you can't park that all into a vehicle. So the way I would do it is I would invest that into an actual place that I could purchase, and then go ahead and rent out a room in the future. You would take a hit with the SSI, but you could get more income utilizing that to you. And then I would just park whatever was left into a vehicle. That way you had a vehicle. That's how I would do it.
Well, I don't know what you mean by rent out a room. What do you mean by that?
So basically, if I had $130 coming my way, I would find a piece of property with some sort of small house on it with an extra room on it, where I could go ahead and, because you're allowed your one dwelling, you're good there. And then I would go ahead and set myself up so that, I would be able to go ahead and pay my taxes, and then I'd have an extra room that I could rent out to somebody. And then whatever additional money was left over, I would put it into a vehicle. They even have specialty programs for rent to buy or purchase a reduced rate for the disabled. So I would personally do it that way. But if you're the type of person where you never go out, you never do anything in the sense of other than medical appointments, you just stay in, then, parking the funds, you can't do that because you're going to violate the 2000 SGA.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't feel comfortable, with, having another roommate since my son and I are here right now. We live in a 2-bedroom apartment. But I didn't know if I should just, because I know that about, there's the trust, but then I also know that, like they were saying with the pool trust, like if you keep the SSI, that you can't use, the money from the trust, the inheritance, to pay for anything that SSI is already paying for, like, food and rent and all of that. So, and plus I don't have anybody that could manage the trust, and I know they have the pool trust, but I don't know how those will work. And after I die, I don't know if my son would be able to get what's left over.
Yeah, I don't
or
recommend
they use
those.
It to pay,
yeah,
if they use it to pay everybody back.
Yeah, I don't ever recommend those. Is the goal to get the money to the child?
Well, no, meaning just that I would put him as a beneficiary. Like if I died, then he would get the money because he's my only son. And my husband passed away like 16 years ago, so like he's not here. But I tried, to call like legal aid, and then you have to wait 2 to 3 weeks for somebody to call you back. And then if you miss it, you got to start all over again. And plus, too, I didn't know if, like, when I go ahead and tell Social Security that I'm going to get the money, like if they're going to ask me, like, when my mom passed away, because she passed away October 1st of 21. So, I didn't know if that's going to go against me. But my sister, has been settling the estate and everything, so that's one reason why I haven't taken the money yet.
And I'm guessing you're a directly named party to receive, correct?
Well, so the way the trust is that it's got my 2 sisters, my brother, and me. So it's just our 4 names on it, and I think they already got the portion of the inheritance, and my sister said that when she gave it to them, then she was going to put what was mine into a bank account until she could wire the money into my account.
In the trust document, and I guess I kind of lost it there. I was having a hard time. Are you named as one of the people who is supposed to receive a certain amount?
Yes. So there's me and my 3 siblings. So there's just us 4 that are receiving the money. So I was trying to tell my sister that, she was saying since she's executive, she could give the money to who she wants. And I saying, well, that doesn't sound right because, like, my son's name is not in there, so I don't see how she could give it to him. Plus, it'd get me in more trouble since he lives here with me. And they think I was trying to hide it or give it away or something so I could keep my benefit.
The problem you're going to run into is that, when you're a named person, you waive the right to receive, and you are still with capacity to receive. So they're going to dock you for 1 month. For the SSI, for the resource limit. So, there's that. If they catch it, but, technically you're supposed to notify them. But look, if the goal is to get it to the son, I don't know how old the son is, but you might have some special disability trust fund options there. You might also have, basically, look, I still go back to this. If you want the funds to do the most that the funds can do, you need to essentially invest them into a small property where, you have a room, he has a room, and then maybe there's one more room. And then you can go ahead and rent it. And then he has that property that transitions into his name. And that's a non-countable resource that you get to go ahead and, let him inherit, because that is the best way for him to receive these funds.
Well, he's 29, so I would only want him to get, the money after I pass away,
Yeah, but if you pass away and you used it to purchase a house and a vehicle, and that house has the capacity to earn additional rent, and once you pass away, now there's an extra room open where you could rent out even more, you've set him up with a house, which is a valuable asset that grows over time. You've set him up with additional rooms to rent out to other people. So, you've set them up, for a better living than just doing one of these cutesy little trust options, which never work. They work, but they don't work in the sense of getting the person to be self-reliant, self-capable of having a better future. And I mean, unless you have a lot more than that money, to go ahead and distribute, it's just not going to work out. It's not going to be something that delivers to the child the same sort of resources. Because remember, when this kid has some place to go to call home that is owned by the family. That's very different than just, hey, we're on this specialty government program that we hope never goes up because we hope it never changes.
Right. Well, yeah, and I mean, and then too, plus, I don't think I'd want to do a trust anyway, because then if I needed money for something, I got to go ask for permission to use my own money, so that's why I didn't like that part either. So, but I mean, how much time do you have, like, to notify, like, SSI and that, and do I just wait and notify them after the money's deposited into my account?
Now, you're supposed to notify them with any expectation of what's going to occur with money coming your way. That way they have a heads up. They even have like an online thing where you can put a notation. But the bottom line is you got to notify them and notify them of your intent. So if I were you, I would find a place that you could go ahead and essentially, begin the purchasing process, line all the timelines up so that you don't have, much of a time where you just have a chunk of money sitting in your account. So that way the transition is relatively quick. And remember, car and house. Those are the two things you need to set yourself up for to be successful going forward. So many disabled people call me up and they're like, I don't want to, try and get a house. I just like my little room and blah, blah, blah. And that's fine. And that's okay. But they're really screwing themselves over in the long run from having something that they could potentially sell if they run into a problem.
Well, I mean, it's like, if I'm getting that much, like 130,000, is that enough that I could, buy a house and just have the two of us live in the house?
Yeah, but buy it so that you can shoot for at least a third room that you could rent out to somebody.
And so I would have to rent it out and what is the purpose of that, of renting it out to somebody?
Well, you don't have to do it, but it's the smart thing to do. If you don't do it, then you just have you and him. And if you don't take that step, then basically you don't have the potential of additional income.
Right. And plus, I mean, is there any, income tax I'd have to pay on the inheritance?
Well, I mean, it depends. I'm not going to go into the tax aspect of it. We don't do that on the show. But the bottom line is, you have to look into and speak with CPA or tax attorney specifically as to what you'd have to pay through the transition process. And then, figure out what you've left over for the purchasing of a car and a house and things like that.
Right. Yeah. Well, my sister said, I mean, they live out west, so they're not back here, back east with me. But she was saying that she had found out that inheritance, you don't have to pay tax on it. So I don't know if that's just for her state.
Go talk to a CPA, go talk to a tax attorney, because I don't know what state it is, and I don't do tax law. So, yeah.
Right. And anybody I speak to, then is there anybody that could, help me without me having to pay anything, or would I have to pay someone to, give me advice on what to do? About the CPA and all that.
No, you would call them, ask them for a free consultation, ask them the question. And then for the property purchase, you could look at, the for sale by owners online. You could also, get a realtor, stuff like that. So, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And you're saying because I'm 63 and I'm going to be 64, you don't think they'll be doing a medical review on me again?
Highly unlikely. Highly unlikely.
Okay, because I just was worried that, it just would trigger a whole another review. So, but you're saying that I should notify Social Security before I actually receive the money.
That's the proper thing to do, to give them a heads up so that they're aware. Because remember,
Okay.
Your whole thing is to reduce the potential of an overpayment or a blocking of the fees where they just don't send you a check.
Right, and so by me notifying, then and me keeping the money, then that means I definitely lose the SSI, right?
Well, I mean, you're going to be over the resource limit, but the whole point of this is do it quickly enough so that you only get bit for 1 month,
What does that mean, that I wouldn't have, that I'd still get SSI after that 1 month?
So you want to do it so that you're over the resource limit for only 1 month, but that you're purchasing the house and the car and everything's getting settled within a short period of time. Because remember, they have their spend down rules, and you've got to be careful for that. Because if you just do it where you're like, hey, I'll notify them 5 months down the line, and then you never go ahead and buy the house, you never do all the stuff you're supposed to, and you don't timeline it out. Be a smart business person. Like, get it all packaged together.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't want to rush into, but are they going to be asking me, like, when my mom passed away and why it took me so long to get the money?
we're going to skip that question tonight. You can always call me later privately about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And would I dial the same number and leave a message that I have now?
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah.
Okay, great. Well, I appreciate all the advice. Thank you so much, Walter. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. You have a wonderful, wonderful night.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. All right, guys. Very good. Very good. So now we're going to go ahead and transition over. I just wanted to go ahead and thank Shirley for the awesome donation, for the 99 donation. Hey, hey. Also, Linda, I'm not sure how to pronounce the last name. Linda Chisak or Sizak. I'm not sure how to pronounce the last name. Help me out with that one for the 1999 donation. Absolutely dig it. Love the little lemon with the growing. It looks like a cool little, it looks like a rhododendron. Yeah. But excellent, guys. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and basically now go to the next caller on this list. Let's see who we've got. Here we go. 1 second. And let's see if we can get this next person on the phone. And then we should be good to go. Here we go.
Hello.
Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot. We are live on YouTube. Would you like me to answer a specific question, or would you like me to run hearing questions with you? And just remember to use a fake name throughout this process.
Hello.
Yep. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Is this a robot?
No, it's me. Howdy. Howdy, howdy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That sounded like a robot at first.
I'm a pretty cool robot, let me tell you. So,
yeah, it would have been a real cool AI.
Yeah.
I was scared to death for a minute.
Yeah, Elon hired me to call you. Don't worry about it though. So, but yeah, walk me through it. What's going on?
Okay, well, I came across your YouTube. I'm my son's a beneficiary, whatever that is, representative.
Yeah,
payee.
sure.
Right. And I have a CDR.
Okay.
That's what you continuing to, whatever that is,
Mhm.
the CDR.
Continuing disability review. Yep.
I'm trying to put it together.
Sure.
And I think I need some help in understanding some stuff. Right now, I have like 3 packets of evaluations done that demonstrate that he's autistic
Mhm.
and how it affects him.
Sure.
But within the CDR, what's it called? Continuing Disability Review Report.
Mhm.
Have on section 3. Now, okay, do I need to pay for your services?
Like right now, no, the whole thing right now is free. Like, so every Thursday, 8 to 10 p.m. I go live and answer questions. So, I mean, if this is something like detailed, then, then it becomes like a 9 to 5 gig. Like, do I want to represent this person to get them through the CDR? But all attorneys for the most part that I'm aware of don't do CDRs anymore. I was one of the last ones to do them. And we basically won't represent a claimant until their benefits are taken away from them, because there's no way for us to get paid then, because we get paid from the months where they're not receiving benefits. So essentially, just give me a very good summarized version of what's going on, like a 2-sentence, 3-sentence version of it, and then basically what is the legal question? Yeah.
Section 3, medical conditions.
Yeah.
I listed them: autistic, attention deficit, and specific learning disorder. And when I do that, they want me to list it, those like that, or they want me to list and say how, I list. That's what I have on his report, on his psychological evaluation.
Yeah, they're looking for diagnostic impressions. What are all the things that he's been diagnosed with that they should be aware of when considering basically whether or not he's still disabled? And what they do is they use what's called the 8-step sequential process to look at the impairments that he was found disabled with. Does he still have them? Are they as bad as they used to be? Are they getting better? Are they getting worse? And then basically from there, if he has any new impairments, they attack those on as part of the further evaluation down the line. Yeah.
Now, the one section 4 medical treatment, he gets treatment with he's just now reconnecting with a psychiatrist or what have you not, but they have home-based therapy. They come and help him organize himself, take him in the community and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Would that go under medical treatment? I'm thinking that it might.
So you would put down. Yeah, you would put that down and listing those who are treating him, and what facility or what company they're actually with. I mean, it sounds like, like where they come and visit him and treat him on, at the location where he's at, correct? Like in-home treatment.
Yeah, he has an autism waiver with the state
Sure.
for home therapy or what have you not, and he'll get assigned a person. He'll come and take him into the community, run errands, assist him, making sure he can get to appointments and engage into the community, as well as at home and doing prompts of cleaning and staying on task and stuff like that.
Sure.
He has that. But the other part that I found interesting is 9C, the section of daily activities. Now, he's not in school or anything like that. It's been difficult for me to even get him there. But right now he's home. So if 9C says, do you ever have difficulty doing this? You were going through that on your video. As far as the explanation, if any, I didn't know how to really word it. Taking medication, he can, but he can't do it with supervision. So do I just say he needs supervision? Is that sufficient? I have to go in detail about the supervision of giving him the med, or, all these stuff that's listed here, what he can't do.
So you're going to go ahead and put down that he needs repetitive supervision from a knowing party as to the medications that are required, because he's not able to assist with explanation as to what he's supposed to receive. And then you can also go through basically, he is not able to stay compliant without the payee. He is, essentially, I mean, it depends on the child. He could be choosing not to take certain medications. He could be, it could be
22.
He's 22. So, yeah, but I mean, the bottom line here is, is he able to take care of taking his own meds, or does he require you to kind of prompt him to do it?
Prompting.
Yeah. So you're going to put down prompting.
Okay.
Put down that.
If I did it because I have one here doing chores outside. We don't have an outside. So I just said, no, he doesn't do any chores outside. Oh, well, it says inside and outside, so that's different. He needs prompting, and so I just put that down, needing prompting. I didn't know if I had to elaborate more because it didn't give you enough room for that.
Yeah, I would put more, like if the child, if he needs prompting and, multiple times a day, specifying to make sure that he takes all the medications, those are the sorts of things that they're looking for, because remember, you're building on to them a picture in black and white on a piece of paper that they have to somehow imagine what this child is like, or a 22-year-old is like. And, not giving them much detail, this just doesn't help them see the actual claimant.
So if I was to generate like a paragraph or to sum it all up, could I do that? Like to sum up 9C?
Yeah, you could put it in the remarks section. You could say C remarks and then put it into the remarks section at the very end.
And then I can type up how all of his daily activities affect his lifestyle and all of this. Because it's like filling them in individually. I don't know. I was just wondering if I could put it together as one and attach it and say attention 9C for that.
Yeah, you could. You could put it at the end. Just make sure you put something in remarks to give them a heads up.
Okay. Yeah. And that's basically it. I was more concerned about the daily activities. The CDR is based on them reviewing him to see if he's eligible to work, correct?
So, keep in mind, they're doing a CDR to see if he's still medically impaired, to see if he could do, a simple job, 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. So they're looking at all the options. Are the doctors agreeing that he's following medication as prescribed? Is he getting into drugs, alcohol, or tobacco-related products? Is he currently working? Is he doing part-time work? What is his capacity to go back to work? These are all things that are comparatives against, essentially the perfect claimant. And they want to see if this child is still, without capacity to ... actually go back to work. But, remember, as these kids kind of grow older and things like that, sometimes they get better. So they do these CDRs. And remember, once he hit the 18, or if he was in school until 22, they're going to do a CDR to see what the changes were. Did he recently graduate from any academia institution, any school?
No, he didn't. As a matter of fact, one of his
he was enlisted with vocational rehabilitation, but he wasn't successful because they had a hard time directing and getting him motivated to do either one of whatever was needed of him to do. He's more like, if it's not what he wants, he doesn't want to do it, and to redirecting him, to encourage him to do it, it was mayhem because he just didn't want to do it. And they have an evaluation, and it states that, this is how he can behave. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I don't know. I guess I have what I need to have here. I was just concerned about the daily activities and how I should present it, and if I could write it like as an essay on the side, and then they can review it, refer to it for the answers that they need.
Here's the thing. Just keep in mind, and this is important. Mm-hmm. The more words you use that are not tailored specifically to show his inability to go ahead and do vocational tasks. If you start getting into paragraph mode, a lot of people get themselves into more trouble than they realize because they make statements that they don't realize are going to hurt the child's chance of retaining the benefits. So just be careful with writing out the story mode. And remember too, the more story mode you go, the less likely they're going to go ahead and review it. Because, when you write, and this is a message for everybody, when you write out to a disability attorney or a judge or a DDS rep or a local SSA field office person, when you write out this whole, page and a half explanation for one answer, it's just unreasonable. We don't have enough time. They don't have enough time to invest into that one answer because we have to process these things as quickly as possible as to who's disabled, who's not. So, look, if you're writing out even a full paragraph for that question, then you haven't taken the time to boil it down to what you could say in one or two sentences,
Okay, so what I'll just do is make it short and concise and just sit down here for preparing meals. I said, yes, he can, but he needs supervision because he's likely to burn everything or catch the stove on fire if he's not being watched. Even cutting, fine motor skills, he's able to cut himself, so he needs supervision with using, sharp objects and stuff like it says here. So I can just kind of make it short and simple like that for each one that, like that. Like lifting objects. He has a problem with that because of his range of motion. He's not aware of things that's around him, and he can wind up hurting himself or hurting somebody else because he's not paying attention to his distance or surrounding. Even when washing dishes, he'll be clumsy about his space, his perimeter.
I mean, that's good, but remember, you gotta take that and put it. You could have said that in one sentence and a short sentence.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So all I need to do is just keep it really short and concise.
Yeah, that's crucial because remember, at the end of the day, people write me emails sometimes, and I print them out and I put them aside on the very, very side of my desk, and then 3 or 4 days, sometimes 7, 8 days later, I get to them. Because when I get, a page and a half worth of an email and it's just story mode of 99% information, not even relevant to the question they're asking, it's offensive to the adjudicators, the judges, the everybody. It's just offensive. And people don't realize it because they're just like, I'm telling you my story. You have to appreciate my story. You have to love me for who I am. And they don't realize, we have to do a job. At the end of the day, we are there to do a job, to complete the task that's required. So, and you have to understand too, a lot of us, on this side of the fence, we're highly educated in, selecting it down to the one crucial factor that matters. And that's an analytical training that most people don't have. So, it can be frustrating for us. But anyways, work on that. If you have any additional questions, don't be afraid to give us a call back and we'll go from there, Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for responding to my call and getting me out of story mode.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna make it
absolutely
short, sweet, and just simple and plain. Needs prompting, 1 to 3 prompting. I'm gonna do what it says in his evaluation. They made it real simple. He needs prompting for daily activities, period, whatever it is.
Perfect.
So I'm gonna just get ahead and do that. And thank you for taking the time to return my call. I didn't know if anyone would.
Yeah, absolutely. No worries. I'll catch you later. You have a wonderful, wonderful night.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.
So that phone call brought forward just something that was incredibly important that I think people have to um, internalize a little bit, which is this. I do get emails all the time from people, and they are a page and a half, and they are not direct and to the point. The number one thing you want to put at the very top of any writing that you're sending in or any question is either the legal question that you have to ask or the answer to the question right at the top. Some people mentally are not capable of getting out of story mode, or they don't know how to express themselves because it's a mental impairment. They're not able to go ahead and do proper analysis, form ideas. I totally get that, totally get it. But people with physical impairments, crucial when dealing with people in a high velocity environment, which is what this industry is. It's a lot of claimants, a lot of processing. Do it as fast as you can. Even when I was doing the application for the administrative law judge, 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever it was, 10 months ago, one of the big things on that form was, can you do analysis and efficiently process very, very quickly lots and lots of claimants? That was their whole big thing. That was the whole push with what they were looking for from that type of job, being an administrative law judge. So let's go to the next caller real quick. Here we go. And let's see this one. Yep, perfect. Okay, next one's coming up. Here we go. And let's see if we can get this person. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot. We are live on YouTube right now. Remember to use a fake name throughout this process. Would you like me to answer a specific question, or would you like me to go ahead and basically run hearing questions with you? Oh, so good. So good, sir. We can't tell what you're saying because the phone's breaking up. Uh, it sounds like a digital breakup, which means even if you switch to like off speakerphone, we wouldn't be able to hear you. Do you want me to try and give you a call back a little? Do you want me to go? Do you want me to try and call you a little bit later after I do another call or so? Okay, perfect. Yeah, because it's got that digital robot-y kind of sound where I can't tell. But sounds good. I'll call you back a little bit later. Thank you, good sir. Bye-bye. Okay, perfect, guys. We're going to go to the next call real quick because that one we just couldn't tell what they were saying. Here we go. And here we go. And speaker phone. There we go. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot. We are live on YouTube. Remember to use a fake name throughout this process. Would you like me to answer a specific question, or would you like me to run hearing questions with you?
Oh, well, thank you for calling me back. I have quite a few questions, but let me just start with a general one that might help everyone. There's a lot, but I'm going to edit it like you said too.
Sure.
What do we do when we have Medicare / Medicaid insurance, medical insurance, and we need therapy. We need or I'll say I and cannot find anyone that accepts this insurance. And I'm serious when I say that. And our condition is getting worse. That's question part one. Part two, I don't get enough really to live on. I'm petrified to, like many people are, to go down there and start talking to any Social Security or any of these people, because you always swear you've done something wrong, even if you didn't, or that their worst case scenario, that they'll cut you off. So trying to, even with help, like housing help, finally, living off of under $1,000 a month is almost impossible. So to get some seasonal jobs, especially at my age, I am a senior. I'd rather not get specific on the phone, but well beyond 65.
So keep in mind. But just keep in mind. But it's 9:15 p.m. and I've worked since like 8 a.m. So but what was the first question again?
Yeah. First question is see how confused I am? First question is, what do we do if we really, short of signing yourself into a mental institution, it can't find a therapist?
Oh, okay, perfect.
All our insurance companies, so they just don't exist. But they say we don't take Medicaid, we don't take Medicare. Medicare is great, but not the Medicaid.
Well, you've got Medicare, right? So you said you had a dual. Yes. So a lot of these places, they take Medicare. The first thing you do is you call up different, basically doctors' offices and see what networks they're part of and see if they're willing to take the Medicare. If there's really nobody in your area, then you may have to travel. I mean, there's no way around that. But I mean, do you live in an area that's, in the boonies of North Dakota?
I live in a very urban area where there is a long list of waiting list for people that need help. And of course they take children first and families. And the unfortunate truth is that I don't have family. I have zero family. Not feeling sorry for myself, just saying that. So that's one. It's a crisis situation to all of the former nonprofits, whether they were under a religious name or whatever, you don't have to be that religion. They just don't have therapists. They used to have kids that were in school that had to put in 1,000 hours or whatever. They no longer exist, or they're just so full. There's no therapist. That's number one. So if we should ever need first place, if we should need help, and we know we need help, it's not funny. We can feel it when it's hitting a bad place. That's number one. I really don't know what to do. Number two, are we allowed? That woman just said that she got SSI and SSD or whatever. If we do get a job, say for a month, but of course our condition, it isn't always stable, and delighted to get a few extra dollars a month or so, and then they can't wait to lay us off because we said something or we snapped or we need help. I mean, it's not easy living with these conditions.
So just summarize it. Yeah, summarize it down for me. What's the legal?
Be cut off.
So you're SSI, SSDI. So that means that if you basically
no. I'm D.
You're only DI.
SSA, I think. I'm I was on SSI for 10 years and then got a letter when I reached 65 saying, we made a mistake. You were on SSI. You should have been on
retirement.
SSA. Well, no, not retired. Collecting under a parent.
Disabled adult child benefits, so DACs. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's why there's no money, because I started collecting so many years ago. Salaries were nothing.
Okay. So
then.
The legal question is, how do you work without it hurting your DAC benefits? And, to what degree, I guess what you're asking me is what rules apply, things like that, right?
I'm asking you that after 66, if I were to get a job and ever hold it, or get one, could I work? I mean, without all of these, I would go. I've been down to Workforce One and asked for help me write a resume.
and really seriously have to work. It would help me a lot if I could get a therapist to either put me on the right medication or just someone to talk to. That's secondary, but it's really primary. And the other is, I honestly cannot live off of that. Even with the increase, it's still not $1,000 a month. Can I work? Someone said, "Oh, why are you worrying so much? You have no money, so nobody's going to come after you." Well, that doesn't mean we don't live in fear. And how do they know that somebody's not going to come after us? Are we allowed? Are we allowed? Say in our 70s, if we are able somehow, like some grace, to find a job, are we allowed to work and collect if it was of psychiatric nature, and now it's physical because we're old and all these other conditions have popped up. Can we work without getting cut off of this under $1,000?
Yeah, you get a trial work period, just like traditional Title II SSDI benefits, and you can utilize that, But all right, so we kind of went a little long on this call with the explanation.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay,
So let's do this. Go research trial work period for disabled adult child benefits, and you're going to want to specifically learn about the triggering amount and what happens, what programs are available after the trial work period. And then you can also look into like extended eligibility period and things like that, and go from there. Yeah.
So they're serious, right? Even if you're in your 70s, they still are, and you're making well under, a certain amount. You still have to get permission to see if you could work, which involves all this paperwork and no psychiatrist, because you can't get one. You understand what I'm saying? You need a letter to say, yes, so-and-so still has this condition. It's exacerbated, but you can't find the doctor either.
Okay. So the safest thing,
trying to hang on.
So the safest So the safest thing you can do is basically get a job that gives you accommodations. And then, what the judges look for is somebody who basically was terminated within a 3-month period, which equates to, kind of your classic trial or your classic failed work attempt. Anyways, this is what I would say. Just boil it down a little bit more, because you know what I mean. That was like a 7-minute question there. So, but let's do.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I didn't expect you to call back, but
yeah, no worries.
Maybe I'll. I always say that I'll call you, or but you said that you don't take a case until it gets to court, and that's that's the biggest fear. Will we be homeless because we're trying to survive? That's as simple as I can make it. You know what I mean? We try and work, and then wind up homeless because our condition, got the best of us. And
so the thing is, I take claims at initial filing level. I help them file all the way through, outside of the SSA system into district court. But the point here is this, so I don't have to wait until they get to a hearing. I take claims, literally they haven't filed anything. We begin the process. But in your particular situation, you're talking about, how do I not lose my benefits or get an overpayment as a result of, working and earning too much? And, but go learn about that trial work period. Go learn about, extended eligibility period, triggering points for how much funds you can earn, stuff like that, because that'll help you kind of take the next step into what you need to learn. And then,
I guess my question is, do they really care when you're lucky enough to get a job? They do.
Yes, they always care, because
they're taxes, everything else. They still care.
Yes. Yeah.
So it could get worse. Some people say, how could it get worse? You're not even getting, $900 a month. how, who they really don't care about you. So you're saying they absolutely do.
Absolutely do, 100%. And a machine is reviewing, basically they can pull a financial analysis on your assets within a 2 to 3 day period. They can pull
I've seen it. Yeah.
they can pull basically your auto, like what cars you own, within literally like a 30-second period. So they care. Yeah.
All right, that's scary. It's really scary. 'Cause the harder you try, the more you lose. Even at our age. But I'll Google it. And how do people work with you? They leave their last 4 digits and send you a letter. I prefer, of course, not to talk on the phone because nobody trusts anybody anymore. But is that your recommendation to everyone that's listening to that might need help or?
Well, 9 to 5, I work with people who are seeking disability benefits. You're not seeking disability benefits. You're seeking the retentions that you don't get in trouble with an overpayment. So
that's correct.
Right. So the difference is I don't do those claims anymore unless the person has lost benefits. And even then I rarely do them because, every time I win those claims, I lose money. And the problem is that I played that game of just constantly losing money until the staff revolted and some of them left the firm because of my mismanagement of assets. So it just doesn't work, So the bottom line is I do the, getting people found disabled thing. And then I give you guys 2 hours. So what I do is I give, the world 2 hours YouTube, and then I give the homeless 3 hours Wednesday. So,
and it's appreciated.
Yeah.
Don't ever think that it isn't, because it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Every sentence, every question is appreciated.
Yeah.
Because nobody really cares. And I think you know that. No one cares.
It is weird how, what the problem is? That the people who really know how to process the claims are higher up. And by the time the claim really gets to them, you've gone through a lot of hoops.
You're homeless. You're homeless.
Well, yeah, it could be. Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. No doubt about it. I know a lot of claimants that, they wait. And it's, the waiting period is one of the worst it's ever been in the history of the Social Security Administration. So I get it. But let me get like one more phone call because I got to call the security expert.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I appreciate it, Walter.
Absolutely.
And God bless.
You as well.
Seriously, really. Thank you
well.
much.
Thank you so much.
It.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
So we're going to take one more phone call, guys. Give me 1 second to go ahead and pull that up real quick. Let's see what we got here. Here we go. And boom, speakerphone. Let's see if we can get this person on the phone. Hopefully we'll get him. Second ring. Let's see what the third ring gets us. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot. We're live on YouTube, Disability Resolution PA, and we're going to go ahead and hopefully answer one of your questions or run some hearing questions for you. Remember to use a fake name throughout this. How can I help you?
Hi, my name is Sue.
Sure.
And my question is, I've been on SSDI since 2013.
Okay.
And I'm also a clergy. During all this COVID and all these things that had occurred, I added to my health issues.
Okay.
And not only that, I wasn't getting paid as a clergy at that point. I just sold our building last year in July.
Okay.
We're still losing the whole building assets and all that. But due to my husband and I paying into bills and things like that for our building, we'll get reimbursed. And I just wanted to know if that would affect my SSDI in any way, shape, or form. My husband still works, but recently he just went on workman's comp, and but he's still connected to his job.
So it's tough for me to hear
and
you.
he's 60.
Because I'm a little bit farther away from the microphone, but you're on SSDI benefits, your husband's working, and you're worried that basically that might hurt your benefits in some way. Is that the legal question?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So bottom line is, if your husband is working and earning, they don't use what's called deeming as part of the SSDI process. So SSI, they look at spouse's income, but for SSI, they look at deeming for spousal income. But for SSDI benefits, if he's working, that's not really going to affect your benefits in any way. There's no 2000 limitation, none of that stuff. If you're working and earning, then you have the SGA limitation, but that's not going to hurt you in any way. Yeah, his earnings, anyways.
Okay, because all right, not only him will be receiving anything, I would too, and that's my concern. If I was to receive like a reference severance pay from, I never got paid, period, throughout all the time that I was clergy there, but they wanted to offer me a certain amount because we had sold the building. The whole churches has really didn't go anywhere. It suffered a lot through COVID and whatnot. And so the bottom line was to sell the building. We did send out to any other 501c3 places.
So wait, so just real quick,
like I said,
am I on speakerphone on your end? Or if you could take me off speakerphone, because I can barely hear you. I guess just for me, real quick, if you could just like a one sentence thing, like there was a building, you guys sold it. Were you on the title of the building? Is that what happened?
yes, because I was the president and clergy.
Okay, so let me jump in real quick.
And my
So
husband,
so you were so your name was on the title, it was sold, and basically, there was money that came from that. Okay, so and I don't know what the full deal was, how it was purchased, whether it was considered income or this is some like investment, whatever. But and without going into all the details, the only thing you're gonna have to worry about is potentially losing benefits for 1 month. If it's deemed to be basically income to you, which I'm sure you had to some degree. And I mean, I'm sure this was an investment property somewhere down the line in the thinking. And either way, it's in its application. But the point is here, if any of this comes down as like income that's countable, yeah, you're going to violate the SGA because, I'm sure you made money off of this sale, correct?
yes, it was more like reimbursement because what we paid out of pocket expense.
Okay, so when people argue reimbursement, let me put it to you another way. And you were using this as part of a clergy. When you sold the building, did you sell it for more than what you purchased it for?
Well, I believe so because it is.
Well, no, it's just, what did you buy it for? All right, what did you buy the building for? And then what did you sell it for?
Well, we didn't buy the building. We were placed there over because the church split, the pastor retired. There was no one to take it over.
All right, so you inherited the place. What was it?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. All right. So, I mean, bottom line is though, did the funds go into a special account for the clergy, or is this a thing where you put the funds into your pocket once it was sold?
Oh, no. It's in the CPA's and lawyers' hands as of right now. And we are not keeping the funds. It's basically more of our, because we didn't get paid during a lot of years because of COVID, all this stuff. And we didn't have income coming in through the church. So we basically was paid out of our own pocket to keep the utilities going and whatnot, and keeping the maintenance and still doing, basic.
So you're trying.
and weddings and so forth.
So are you looking for an amount of the sale of the building to go to you as compensation for, paying for its utilities and doing the functions of it? Just help me out here, because you just hit me with
Yeah.
the, like, one sentence. What's the question? Yeah, help me out. Yeah.
Yes, we are eligible to get back our reimbursement for the expenses we put out of pocket. So that's what that we were told through our CPA, that we can go back and get reimbursed for that.
Okay. Yes, you can go ahead and pull funds from the sale of that building to compensate yourself. So I'm guessing the question here is, if you compensate yourself for doing a job as income to you, that was part of it, then basically, is that going to count against you? Yeah, I could see some of that money definitely be considered SGA, and it's all going to come in all at once. And, so basically, the argument that's going to be, made is that you're saying, okay, well, hopefully this will only hurt me for that 1 month where I'm over SGA for my SSDI benefits. So I could see that argument. But I guess the bottom line is, and I just wanted to say thank you again to Linda for making the $1.99 donation. She made a larger donation even previously tonight, which is just awesome. And I really appreciate it. With your question, you're going to probably violate the SGA rule for having income earned, and it's only going to hurt you for that 1 month. So they might, cut off payments for 1 month. They might hit you with an overpayment situation. But the bottom line is, it's probably only going to affect you for that 1 month, for this particular type of situation, unless you can prove. And remember too, some of the stuff is like, hey, I paid utilities. That is the wash. But then some of the stuff is like, hey, you're being paid to do a job, and that job, you're getting the income, right? So that's going to hurt you. Yeah.
Okay.
All
Do
right.
you know how long would that affect my SSDI?
Yeah, for 1 month. Yeah, for 1 month.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
you're getting paid
Now,
all
do
at
I have to
once.
spend-
Yeah.
Right. Do I have to spend in a certain amount of time frame?
No, you're not SSI. You can retain the funds for as long as you like. You're not SSI, so you can hold on to those funds. Yeah.
Okay. That was my question.
Perfect. Sounds good, madam. I will catch you later. You have a wonderful, wonderful night.
Thank you so much, Walter. You have a great night yourself.
Thank you. You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
So, guys, one of the things is that when the phone is pointed towards the microphone, the sound goes that way. And so if the phone's a little bit muffled, like, I can't hear it back here because I'm actually a little bit of ways from it. What I'm going to do is I'm probably going to go ahead. Let me see if I can call back that one person who called earlier, to see if I can talk to him. And then we're going to go ahead and cut it there. And then I'm going to do another video, and we're going to reach out to basically the security expert, because he's finally feeling better. We're going to get a quick update from him. Oh, no, good sir. It sounds super broken up again. Wait, talk a little bit so I can hear you.
My question is, I have an upcoming telephone hearing with Social Security, and I want to know what to expect at the telephone hearing.
So here's the thing: we can't tell what you're saying. Like, if you're watching the video with us, you would hear it. It's just all broken up and sounds like a robot. So just try and call me.
Can I try to give you a call back?
Yeah, just try to give me a call right now. That's fine. Go ahead and give me a call right now.
All right.
Okay, sounds good. Bye-bye.
Okay.
Bye-bye. Here we go. Let's see if we can get a call in from him real quick. I guess I'm just tired tonight. Maybe I'm just not hearing the questions as well as I should. Although it does seem like some of the questions I'm getting are very voluminous but off topic as to the actual question. But here we go. Here we go. Let's see. Cool. We're on speaker. Good, sir. Go ahead and talk a little bit so we can hear how you sound.
Okay. What I was calling about, I was wondering, I have upcoming ALJ hearing
Sure.
coming soon over the telephone.
Sure.
And I was wondering what could I expect? What could I expect at the hearing?
Okay, so let me give you, and we're live right now. Sorry, I didn't do the proper intro. Yeah, we're live right now on YouTube. Remember to use a fake name throughout this, and I'll go ahead and walk you through what you normally expect. So basically, it's going to be a telephonic hearing, correct?
Yes.
So there's 4 parts to a telephonic hearing. The intro, that's where your attorney will communicate basically with the judge about any of the administrative functions, alleged onset dates, AOD stuff, or maybe there's a T2 versus T16 problem that has to be fixed. Whatever. There could be any issues that have to be fixed right up front. Then you go to basically part 2, the claimant's testimony. That's where the judge will examine, and usually the attorney will cross-examine the claimant. Then you go to part 3, which is the vocational experts portion, to talk about jobs that you could potentially do in the national vocational environment. And then basically you go to part 4, which is the outro. You're going to have probably about, now, are you represented by an attorney or not?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so what happens is when you have an attorney, about 15 minutes to 20 minutes of ALJ hearing questions / your attorney cross-examining you, could be a little bit longer. They'll go through a lot of questions, including topics like cooking, cleaning, laundry, paying bills, driving, buying groceries, putting groceries away, hygiene, getting dressed, etc. So there'll be all kinds of things related to that, including your work history of where you worked within the past 15 years. So you'll go through, a bunch of those questions. You're going to have to know your medications, their side effects. You're going to have to know symptoms of your impairments. What are your top 5 impairments? You have to have all that stuff prepared before you begin the process of it. Now, because it's telephonic, they're never going to know whether or not you have paper in front of you. So you can always write these things out, list them out. Do you want me to ask you a couple of questions and just kind of gauge where you're at to see how you would do in a hearing?
Sure, why not?
Okay, good, sir. Go ahead and walk me through what are your top 5 most severe disabling medical conditions?
Hypertension. One of the main reasons I had the main reason why I'm here, I had a stroke a little over 6 years ago. I have I'm in the process of going to kidney specialist. I'm at one step before dialysis.
Okay.
I'm also and I don't know if this consists of I'm anemic.
Okay.
And right now that's probably all I could think of right at the moment.
All right. So you haven't really run the questions with your attorney yet. Has the attorney prepped you on basically how to approach the at-home questions, like what you do at home, stuff like that? Or is this all kind of de novo for you? Is this all kind of new for you?
I'm gonna have a conference, a little meeting with her in about a week or so.
Okay. So no matter what, you should always run these hearing questions with your attorney more than once. I tend to prefer 3 times. The first time very slowly, second time quickly, third time with trick questions. Now, this is a stroke situation. So what kind of ambulatory devices are you using? Like cane, crutch, walker, neurolator, stuff like that?
Primarily, I'm using a cane to help keep my balance.
Okay. Do you live on a first story or second story?
I stay in a 1-story house.
Okay. Are you able to drive?
I'm able to drive, but since I had my stroke, I probably did like a little bit of driving here and there.
Okay. So let me ask you this. Why would you be unable to work a simple receptionist job? Like you were basically working at, let's say a tanning salon. They walk in, it's a strip mall, and they basically walk in and it's, there you are, collect the fee so that they can go do their tanning thing. Why would you be unable to be a receptionist at a tanning salon?
I can't. I can't stay focused at a minimum rate.
Okay. So you're going to have to work on that a little bit better. Why you have difficulty sitting for that extended period of time, why you have a hard time with communicating with others, including bosses, coworkers, friends, family, and the general public. You got to work that more. So let's do this. The best thing you can do is look up the top 50 trick questions, the top 50 ALJ trick questions on YouTube. I did a whole a video series. And also the 200 most common Social Security disability hearing questions, because you've got to get the basics down before we can really work on some of the higher level stuff, Yeah.
Okay.
I tell you what, when I end this video, I'll text those over to you.
Okay, not a problem.
Perfect. Good, sir. Sounds good. I will catch you a little bit later. You have a wonderful, wonderful night.
Okay, you too. Enjoy the rest of your night.
Thank you, good sir. Have a wonderful night. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, guys. So that's kind of the final call. Now, what I'm going to be doing is another video specifically with the security expert. I'm going to go drink a tea, kind of get myself excited and ramped up. I'll be checking in with you guys a little bit later, but basically, I will see you in about, I would say 10 minutes. Give me 10 minutes. And he's got a lot of good information on what's going on internationally with security. And just so you guys know, our bond market is in trouble, because if we default or start to lean that way, it hurts our bonds, which then hurts everything, including our Social Security trust funds. So, but anyways, I will catch you guys in 10 minutes. Please remember to like, subscribe, and leave 5-star reviews. Have a wonderful night, and I will see you back shortly. Thanks so much, guys. Attorney Walter Hnot, Disability Resolution PA, and we'll go from there. Bye-bye.